Hello and welcome to the newest edition of Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and there could be a new trophy for the Super Bowl winner. What is going on with Mike Vrabel's staff? And the Senior Bowl takes center stage in Mobile, Alabama. Plenty for you on this episode, but before we get started, make sure to subscribe for the channel, comment, and let us know what you'd like to hear and what your take is on these subjects, and give us a few likes as well along the way. We'll jump right into it as we go, and Bill Belichick is making the rounds and not shying away from giving his opinion on what's going on in the NFL while being a head coach at the college rank these days. But in an interview with Jim Gray the other day, Coach Belichick was asked about, being one of the all-time greats and talking about his success at the NFL level. And he was quick to point to any head coach can't do it without the players, that the players are who actually wins games in the NFL. And Jim Gray immediately said, well, isn't it called the Lombardi Trophy? And without missing a beat, Bill Belichick quickly quipped, well, they should just call it the Brady Trophy then, because he's got 7 of them. And you know what? He's not wrong. So should this be something that the NFL looks at? And are we ready to take a step away from history? I'll hard stop right there. No, they should not change the trophy at any point in time in the future, but an interesting exercise, if you will. Obviously, Tom Brady, having that many Super Bowls, should be considered the one to actually have his name emblazoned upon the award. And it goes back to a lot of what we've been saying in the past few episodes of is the dynasty, is the GOAT title potentially in jeopardy as Patrick Mahomes creeps closer to a potential three-peat? And with only 8 years of football under his belt and hopefully another 12 at least for Mahomes, should he stay healthy and continue his career and play at a high level, should potentially be able to, if not eclipse, but come close to that 7 mark that Brady has made. Also, what about other sports? Should LeBron James, should Michael Jordan have his name on it? Wayne Gretzky? Who are the top guys? Does Babe Ruth get his name on there? And how much more does Shohei Ohtani have to do before getting his name on a trophy? An interesting exercise, but at the end of the day, something to point to where Bill Belichick really does get it and why he should be regarded as one of the greatest coaches of all times, the GOAT of the sidelines, if you will, while QB1 for New England for that long is the GOAT until proven otherwise, and we'll see what we get to in 2 Sundays from now. Looking as well at the coaching staff for Mike Vrabel, and it turns out that Josh McDaniels was not alone. There was another full interview done by the front office, by New England, for the offensive coordinator position, and Eric Bieniemy, a big-time name and who's made the cycles in the hiring and has put his mark in the NFL, was the person who came in and interviewed for that job. And an interesting one because he was the person who really gave Patrick Mahomes his leg up and helped coach him up along with Andy Reid and, put his stamp on the NFL. And someone that I think would have actually been a great fit should the Patriots have decided to go that way. And I think a little bit surprising that Eric actually has not found an offensive coordinator role in the NFL since leaving the Kansas City Chiefs. He actually had that stopover back in the college ranks himself at UCLA, and now is back in the hiring cycle, and we'll see if he ends up back. But he actually was a hot name as a coaching candidate only a few years ago, and has not come to fruition. But I think someone that definitely can help out an NFL team, and we'll see eventually where he does land. But as Mike Vrabel continues to build out that staff, he's getting close to finally putting all those pieces into place. Those titles will continue to shore up as we move forward. But one that actually has come to fruition is Ryan Crowden and what he will now bring to the table is not actually be next to or above or directly underneath Elliot Wolf, our executive vice president for player personnel. Ryan will actually be the vice president and work directly with Vrabel, the three of them really kind of forming a triumvirate, if you will, to make the personnel decisions and actually get those done. There's a few reports circling around that he could even eventually surpass Elliot Wolf, but I don't think we're even close to anything like that. Again, this is the first week of the three of them being together, obviously down in Mobile, Alabama here for the Senior Bowl and getting the early scouting in, and that's what Ryan is known for, is as scouter and evaluator of talent and someone who can really get into the minutia of what Coach Vrabel is looking for, who can really start to get into those X's and O's, execute and play their role and do your job, if you will. So again, as that leadership trio comes together, don't be surprised to see a lot of interviews done, see what Mike Vrabel wants, what those X's and O's start to dictate, and the type of player that the Patriots identify, not just at the Senior Bowl for draft, but for free agency here as well, the type of players that they need to be successful in Coach Vrabel's schemes. Finally, for the Senior Bowl this year down in Mobile, Alabama, as we mentioned, several players taking the eye of many scouts out there, and the Patriots, obviously, we've talked about at length, having quite the need for pass rushers, for wide receivers, and for offensive linemen. Several players have had standout performances, starting with Mike Green, the defensive end from Marshall, who actually led the NCAA with 17 sacks. Had an impressive performance and actually ran through another player that we were scouting, Josh Connerly, the Oregon offensive tackle, 6'4", 315 pounds, prototypical person that we would be after. Mike Green actually pancaked him right through him, and afterwards announced that he's actually going to step away from the Senior Bowl to start preparing for the NFL draft. So he made his mark, and he's done enough, I think. Mentioning a couple wide receivers to keep an eye on, Tez Johnson, another Oregon player, wide receiver, diminutive but extremely fast, crisp route runner, and someone that could be a threat at any point, probably around that third round, and someone the Patriots could look at, but a smaller player, so not of that bigger frame that they would talk about with T. Higgins or Chris Godwin. That player would actually be Jaden Higgins, Iowa State wide receiver, 6'4", and a large body that actually could creep towards that day two pick and be an option for the Patriots if they decide not to address that in the first round. So early returns coming out of those Senior Bowl practices. I'm sure we'll start to see a lot more of those and a lot more players that the Patriots could be associated with as they move forward. Again, lots of news coming out. We'll continue to bring you the latest and those potential additions that the Patriots could make, any changes that Mike Vrabel makes to his staff, or what Tom Brady or Bill Belichick mentioned along the way as we go. Again, as always, please give us a subscribe, a like, and comment on this video and previous episodes. Let us know what you'd like to hear us cover as we continue to bring everything coming out for the New England Patriots. Fight on, Foxborough.